Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fearless and Fabulous podcast. This is the space where women thrive no matter their age or size. I am your host and creator, Melanie Robinson, and it is cold right now in February. It's definitely freezing in Virginia. We're going through a huge cold snap, and I'm sure my guest from Canada is dealing with some chilly weather too. I have with me a Canadian queen, and she is fabulous. Her name is Hailey McDonald. Say hi, Hailey.
Hi, yes, from Canada. It's cold here too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cold everywhere right now, it seems. Even
Yes.
one of my friends in Florida says that it's pretty chilly there too.
Oh,
So
wow.
hopefully we'll warm up pretty soon. But
Hopefully.
it is the month of love, and I know for me, loving yourself first comes before anything because as RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? Can I get amen in here?
Amen.
Well, Hailey, won't you tell us a bit about yourself?
For sure. So, yeah, as Melanie said, my name is Hailey McDonald. I am 23. I live in Prince Edward County, Ontario, in Canada. A lot of people think it's Prince Edward Island, which is a province, but it's not. I'm in Ontario. I am the founder of Flow Without Fear, which is a period poverty initiative in Canada. So, we're dedicated to eradicating period poverty by ensuring that women and girls who don't have access to products on a regular basis do have products available to them. So, right now, we're doing our Valentine's Day period product
Yeah.
drive. So, one more week of that. And this became like an annual thing. I started it last year and I'm like, I think this should be like a reoccurring event because nothing goes on in February. So we're gonna do
Yeah.
a
It's like
Valentine's Day thing.
yeah, well, there's Valentine's Day and really not much else, is
The
there?
Super Bowl. The Super Bowl,
Super
which
Bowl. Yeah, that's actually the day we're recording. It is the Super Bowl. Also,
yeah,
I call it the Bad Bunny show, but there's some
exactly.
football thrown in there too.
The Bad Bunny concert. Yes.
Bad Bunny concert.
Yeah, but I've been
Well,
involved in pageantry for 8 years, so I just wanted to include that too. We'll be competing for Canadian National Miss in July, which is approaching very quickly. I signed up, I think, last July, and it's already February, so
wow.
time catches up to you.
It sure does. And we'll definitely talk about your pageant journey for sure. But first, let's talk about Flow Without Fear. You said you started this last year. So what made you think of this initiative and why it's so necessary?
Yeah, so I heard about period poverty initiatives a little bit in pageantry. It's not very common. The only queen, like well-known queen that I know of is now Mila Marsh, Miss Teen USA, but also Harnaaz Sandhu. She was a Miss Universe a couple years ago. She did that in India, so I thought that was really,
Yeah.
really cool. And I thought it was a cool idea at a different platform at the time. And then I was actually at a pageant and I got my period unexpectedly. I was not somebody who had an irregular period, so that was new for me, but I didn't have any products on me and my roommate didn't have anything. So it was a little bit of a mess. So thankfully,
Yeah.
I was surrounded by so many other women that I did get what I needed, but it made me think like this happens to women all the time around the world and they're not surrounded by so many other women who can help them or have a hotel staff there because I was at a hotel. Um, so it really made me think about that and actually went down and did a speech on period poverty instead of my platform. It just it woke something in me that day when I got my period and I didn't have any products.
And I think that's something that for a lot of us pageant women, there's something that happens in our lives that sparks this idea of like, well, if this is happening to me, this has got to be happening with other women. And I can tell you that, I'm in my 50s, and when I was growing up, talking about your period was just kind of something that was mentioned amongst your friends. You didn't, it wasn't really advertised. It was kind of had this weird cloak of shame around it. And I think there's
Mhm.
still
Yeah.
this kind of taboo feel around it. Is that something that you pick up as well, being 23?
Yeah, well, even when I was in school, like health class and stuff, we barely talked about menstruation or women's bodies in general. It was more about like intimacy and stuff like that and STDs and things of that nature. It wasn't really about menstruation or menopause or ovulation, anything like that. So that alone, a lot of girls were like, okay, I get a period. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's very low key. And then, yeah, we really only talk about it with your friends. It's not something you would feel comfortable sharing with people you don't know and things of that nature. And I was actually a little bit afraid starting a period poverty initiative at first because I was like, people probably don't want to talk about menstruation. People can be like, this is weird. Why are you doing that? Thankfully, it hasn't been that way for me for the most part, but that was a fear of mine for sure, is people are going to be like, we don't want to talk about this. Don't talk about that.
And that's really unfortunate because I mean it's a natural thing that our bodies go through. It's
Mhm.
you know pretty much every woman has ever experienced it. And I think one of the things also is, since it's not being talked about openly enough, is that a lot of girls and women don't know what's considered a normal period
Yep.
versus it could be something, a symptom of endometriosis or fibroids or things like that. And I think that's probably something that's really unfortunate, why we don't
Yeah.
have more of an open dialogue.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't even know what endometriosis was until I think I was in college when I found out what endometriosis and
Mm.
PCOS was. We didn't learn about those things, but I think it's really important because a lot of teenagers do struggle with that, or young adults do struggle with that. And yeah, I don't remember ever learning anything about kind of, I don't want to say disease, maybe disorders. I'm not sure what the word is that are related to menstruation. So I think it's really important. And I hope they're teaching that now, which I doubt that they are, but I hope that they do.
So, with your initiative, what is it that you are trying to achieve with it, with these drives? Like, there are certain areas where you're focusing your efforts at?
Yeah, so with my dries, once I collect everything, usually on Valentine's Day or a couple days after, I donate them to things like food banks, women's shelters, things of that nature. A lot of people don't know that food banks really love menstrual products, and a lot of women who go to food banks need them. And a lot of
Hmm.
people don't know you can donate them, and they're very common there. So that's something that I'd love to do. And women's shelters as well, of course. They do have some products there, but they're always looking for more. So essentially, I'm just trying to give all women and girls the right, because they have that right to have access to safe and clean durable period products. There's women in other countries that are using like things in nature, they're makeshifting pads and tampons and things like so. I just want women and girls to feel safe and not have to be
Yeah.
scared of their period, like flow without fear, right? Don't be
Yeah.
afraid of getting your period.
And you mentioned about women in other countries. I saw a article, or maybe it's something on Instagram pretty recently, about a lot of girls in places like Afghanistan where they literally cannot go to school for about a week when they get their periods
Yeah,
because, number one, there's a real feeling of shame
yeah,
around getting their period. It's seen like almost like a sickness
yeah,
in that culture, and they do, like you mentioned, makeshift materials to handle their periods, so they're missing like a full week of school every month
yeah.
because of their periods. Is there, do you know of any worldwide initiatives that are trying to address this issue?
I actually don't know of anything that's worldwide. I do know a couple nationwide in Canada. The Period Purse is a huge one. That's probably the
Mhm.
biggest organization in Canada that I know. Actually, also in Prince Edward County, there's the Prince Edward County period product drive. They Prince Edward County Period Party, that's what it's called. And so I actually donate with them when we collaborate sometimes as well. But yeah, worldwide, actually can't think of anything. There might be, but
Yeah.
nothing that I know of actually.
Well, maybe, with if we have more of an open dialogue and more queens like you, or just, any girl or woman can do this. If they just
Yeah.
start a drive in their own area and make the word, make that word more well known and less taboo feel around it, maybe the ideal will reach to other countries like, hey, this is okay. We can talk about it. We can collect items. We can help these women out.
Exactly. And honestly, I think period poverty itself stems a lot from the stigma is that a lot of people don't want to talk about it. And if somebody's struggling, they're afraid to speak up about it because it's still so taboo in so many places. And period products are not cheap, unfortunately, in a lot of places. So that doesn't help the ideas either.
And I think that's a really good point as well, is that these products are not inexpensive at
Yeah.
all. Uh, I know I don't know how it is in Canada, but at least around my area, like a regular box of tampons, say like 24 tampons, will go upwards of $7 or $8 a box. And that adds up over
Yeah.
time. So I don't know what's the price there in Canada, would you say?
I think it's around the same, probably between $7 and $10 for an average box of tampons, and we're Canadian dollars, so it's a
Mhm.
little bit different with the conversion rate. But yeah, so I'd say it's probably about the same here, which is not cheap for one box of
No,
tampons.
it's not. And I think it's amazing that you decide to create this whole initiative in itself. So, what type of goals do you have for it?
Oh, there's so many goals I want to do with Flow Without Fear. I'm hoping to expand it internationally as well, maybe connect with some other countries. There was one girl who saw my drive last summer and she's in the UK and she was interested in collaborating. So I'm hoping to do something like that. I also have my book, Period, and I'm hoping to make that more internationally known as well. It's essentially a period starter kit for girls who are getting their period for the first time. It explains what your period is and all the phases of your cycle and how to handle your period and things of that nature. So I'm hoping to expand that a lot more too.
Oh, that's awesome. When did you write this book?
I wrote the book this most recent summer. So I published it in August and I've been selling it like around here in Prince Edward County. There's one in a pharmacy, there's one at a cafe, things of that nature that people can just like pick up and read. But I'm hoping to expand it even more.
Is it nonfiction or is it fictional? What's the story like?
Yeah, so it's essentially just how do I like a facts book,
Okay.
like a puberty book, kind of like teaching young women kind of like what's going to happen to their body and how to prepare for it. So it's not like a story with like characters or anything. It's more
Okay.
so just like explaining periods to young girls.
That's wonderful. Is this book, do you have it on a way where people can purchase it, or is it more of a local project that you have going on?
Yeah, people can definitely purchase it if they want to send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. That's how I'm doing it right now, and we can ship it out. I've shipped it to different provinces here, so I'm happy to ship it anywhere in the world.
Oh, fabulous. So I'll
Yeah.
make sure that, your links get included with this episode because I think that's something that might help to open a dialogue with even like moms who feel a little awkward talking
Yeah.
about this with their daughters. As a great gift,
Yeah.
for a young teen. So I think that's wonderful that you took that on and decided to, hey, let's be open.
Yes, exactly. I wanted to, for the new generation coming in, like you don't have to be afraid of this thing that's normal. It happens to half the population, and just explaining to them because I think a lot of people don't know. And I talked about things like endometriosis and when you should see a doctor and what things are normal and what's not and things of that nature. So I think it's really important for young women to know if they had their period already or they don't, like it's about to come. I don't want young girls to be afraid of their period, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because it's not the most comfortable time of our month, so
No,
we
no.
don't need to add that as well. So let's pivot a little bit. Let's talk a
Okay.
bit about your own journey in pageantry. When did you start
Yay.
pageants, and what's been your journey been like for you?
Oh, my journey's been fantastic. I started pageantry when I was 16, so I'm 23 now. I'll be 24 when I compete Canadian National Miss. So I think that's almost 8 years, which is crazy to say out loud. uh, my second pageant I ever did was an international. It's the only pageant that I've ever won, actually, which is crazy. Um, I went international, so I competed at a national pageant, and they actually send all of their top five internationally, which is really cool. So I didn't win that one, but I was in the top five, so I did get to go
Nice.
internationally to the Dominican and I won there. So I did those two teen pageants and then COVID happened, so I didn't compete. And then I became an adult after COVID. So I started my Miss Division era at 19 and yeah, it's been great.
So, what would you say has been probably the most challenging part of your pageant journey?
Ooh, I think, well, when I first started pageants, I was very shy, very secluded, not a lot of self-esteem or confidence there, but doing the pageants has really helped with that. Like me public speaking or talking to you right now is not something I would have been able to do when I was 15, 16 when I
Mm.
started pageants. So my speaking skills have, I think that's the biggest change I've seen is, interview skills, even for a job, talking to people that you don't know when you have your sash and crown on and things of that nature. I think that's the best part of pageantry is it just teaches you so much.
It definitely does. I will say, even though I really got into pageants later in life and I already have a background in performing and as a speech professor, it did force me to tap into a different set of skills that I
Mhm.
hadn't really worked on before. And I feel that I'm even a stronger instructor now, and I'm able to interview people here on this podcast very easily.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how pageantry can just do those types of things for someone and you don't end up winning a crown. I mean, that's kind of, that's like the cherry on top, right? It's
Yeah.
really about what you learn along the way. At least that's what I've gotten from it.
No, exactly. Pageantry has opened so many doors for me. I've competed in Holy moly, over 10 pageants, and I've only ever won once. So that goes to say I love pageantry. I keep going back, and it's really, the friendships you make and the opportunities that come from it and the memories that are there. I love pageantry so much. Even if you don't win, it's just a fantastic experience. And I hope more women kind of get involved in it. I think a lot of people still think that pageants are a little outdated and
Yeah.
maybe a little sexist or something like that. But I'm like, they've changed so much. For the most part, most pageants are very pro women. So I love that.
Well, so you mentioned that, there tends to be a general perception of pageants.
hmm
So what would you say? And of course, this is totally your opinion, right?
Yes.
Uh, if you were able to be in charge of like a major pageant, what would be some changes you'd like to see happen?
Well, we saw what happened with Miss Universe.
Yeah,
A little
unfortunately.
some issues with management or ownership, and same with Miss USA when their previous owners were there. Honestly, I think directors need to step back a little bit. With all due respect, it's not about you; it's about the lady that
Yeah,
wins. And obviously, the director is very important. They run the show; they should be acknowledged. I don't dispute that, but I think now a lot of owners and managers and directors really want to be the forefront, and it's about like sponsorships and making money, and the girls are selling things, and I'm like, that's not. I don't like that. So that's something I would change, just make it more about the girls and the girl who wins and things of that nature.
and we're not naive. We know that pageantry is a business. We
Yes.
get that. But I do agree with you that I wish there was less emphasis on we got to make sure the sponsors are happy. We got to make sure that they're selling this product. And of course, that's important.
Yeah.
But I would like to see what's Miss Universe's platform?
I
I feel
don't
like
know.
a number of times I don't really know
Exactly.
what she is trying to achieve. And it's not just Miss Universe. There's like some other
Yeah.
larger pageants that I feel like they've kind of fallen into the, oh, let's have them, sell this product and make this type of appearance versus who is she and what does she stand for?
Exactly. I feel like a lot of them have kind of changed from this girl cares about this and she's doing this to, oh, this girl's selling this product, you should buy it. And I understand they have to make their money and I would probably, sell the thing here or there, but I just think it's about their platform. I don't know what the current Miss Universe's platform is or the past few. I really don't know. And I would love to know. I'm sure they're
Yeah.
super smart, super ambitious, and just we don't get to see that side of them anymore, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. And I imagine those title holders would like to be able to be more forthcoming about it as
Yeah.
well. And I think it's something that maybe doesn't get talked about enough, uh, is that when, especially the more prominent queens, those in we call it the big pageants,
Yeah.
once they win that title, it's not about them anymore at
Yeah.
all. It really is about representing the brand,
hmm
and they have to follow contracts. They have to make sure that they are being very careful what they do or say in public and on social media. And I mean, they are a commodity
Yeah.
now. And I feel like that's what you and I are talking about here is there is this little push and pull, like, well, the woman ends and this uh, title
hmm
begins. The title becomes bigger than the woman.
Yes. Which is so unfortunate because they have so much to offer and we just don't get to see it. And I think Miss World is doing good at that from what I've seen. It's more about the reigning Miss World herself instead of the brand or making money. But yeah, a lot of them unfortunately have changed. I think Miss USA has gotten a lot better now with the new ownership. Sorry, there's
Yeah,
yeah, I think I like the new Miss USA owner. I think we get to see a lot more of Audrey is her name, and
yeah,
Mylan. Yeah, I love seeing them out and about now. I know the past few title holders have kind of had a rough go, so
yeah. So, Tom, if you're watching this, well done. Keep it up.
yeah,
So let's talk a bit about, on this show, we like to talk about things that we've had to push through in order to thrive to the other side. So what would you say is something that you've had to push through and you feel like you've come to the other side of it?
yeah. Well, if you have me on Instagram, a lot of you probably know this, but my dad had a severe spinal cord injury 18 months ago, and he's
Mm.
still paralyzed from the chest down. So we're still kind of dealing with that, but I think the really heaviness part of it is kind of over. Like now it's like, okay, this is life now. The injury part, we've accepted that. But that was really hard to navigate, especially last year when I was competing and he wasn't able to be there. He was still in hospital. He just recently moved into a nursing home, so he just got out of hospital, which is great, but he wasn't able to come home, which kind of sucks. So it's kind of navigating that. So it's not something that I've completely gotten over, but learning how to navigate it and live with that is something I'm really proud of for being able to handle something like that. It was very tough.
Yeah. And, you know, I am so sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
I can only imagine what that would, do to a family because, all your lives are now affected by
Yep.
this new reality. And I think maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things I know that I've learned through pageantry is resilience and the power of mindset.
Yeah.
Even and when this happened with your dad, uh, how did mindset play a role in terms for you in order to navigate through this new reality?
Yeah, well, thankfully with my dad, nothing hit his mind or his brain, so he's still the same person mentally,
Yeah.
same person that he was before it happened. And he told me like from the jump, like, please don't change your life for me. Please still, keep living your life. Don't stress about me. I'll be okay. And having that thought in my head and just like doing it for him was really something that helped my mindset is wanting to make him happy, wanted to make him proud and not have to worry about me. Like I don't want him to feel guilty because this happened to him. That wasn't his fault, sort of thing. So that was really my biggest mindset push was make dad proud, make dad feel like he doesn't have to worry about you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, he is on the mend, he's making some strides, and here's hoping that he keeps on that same track.
Yes.
So, on the flip side, what is something that makes you feel fabulous?
Ooh, so many things. Yes, well, pageantry itself, I love being a pageant girl. I love talking about pageants. My social media is all about pageantry and I love it. But aside from that, I think it's important to have an identity outside of pageants too.
Right.
Um, so recently, actually, what made me feel super fabulous was I was a journalist for 2 years, a news anchor. I loved that position. I loved my job, but they refused to make me full time and they refused to give me a livable wage. And I was like, you know what? I love this job, but if you're not going to give me what I'm giving you, then time for me to go. So I started a new job this most recent Monday, and it's been going really good. I'm in
Oh, wow.
optometry now, which is insane, but yeah, it's been really great, really interesting. I'm learning from these doctors that I'm working with. It's a very random switch, but it's they're paying me more. I'm full time. I get some benefits, which I didn't have before. So I'm like, that made me feel fabulous is walking away from something that wasn't serving me anymore as much as I loved it.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. And I know that that could not have been easy, especially if you really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But, I get it. Like there comes a point where like I still need to be able to live,
Yes.
right? I
Yes.
still need to be able to make my way in the world. So good for you for realizing that you are worth more and you trusted yourself and now it's paying off.
Yes, it was scary to walk away. And, I live in a very small community. So a lot of people, because I was on radio news, a lot of people knew me from that. And I was like, I'm kind of sad to walk away from this because I built this community. But, there's things that are more important. And me being able to live is one
Yeah.
of them. So, yeah, I'm very proud of myself for making that decision. It was hard, but I think it was the right
Yeah.
decision.
Well, that's amazing, Haley. So let me ask you this before we wrap up. This has been an amazing conversation, by the way. I really enjoyed getting to know you. When you are competing this summer, what is what is the main thing, like besides winning? Okay, we're gonna put that aside, right? What is the main thing you want to walk away to be able to say you've done?
Ooh, that's a really great question. I think, the main thing for me is sharing about Flow Without Fear and opening up those conversations about period poverty. Like every time I talk about it with a judge or somebody who's in pageantry, they're like, "Oh my God, thank you for talking about this." Like nobody has these conversations. So I think that's really important to put forward on a national stage, which where I will be. And also just, the opportunities that come from pageantry, the friendships that I've made. I made a friend who was my roommate at my last pageant. You know her, Michaela, and we are working
Yes.
together again. So I signed up for this pageant. She's like, I'm coming with you. We're going to compete together again. We're in two different divisions, so we can win together. And then be roommates. It's so fun. Like, I'm literally the most thing that I'm looking forward to is rooming with Michaela again.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay. I'm so excited and I adore Michaela.
Yes.
She's one of my favorite Canadians.
Canadian Queen.
Yes. Well, good for you. And I am so excited for you. And yes, thank you so much for having this amazing initiative. And I will make sure to link your Instagram and all your links. And good luck with your drive. And I hope
Thank
it
you.
inspires other women to hold their own drives.
Yes, me too. Thank you for having me. I've watched your podcast for a long time, so I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. And thank you all for joining us here at the Fearless and Fabulous podcast. Remember, this is the space where women thrive no matter their age or size. Please be sure to follow my guests. And if this episode resonates with you, please share it, like, subscribe, do all the things. Helps this channel out so much. And we will see you all again very, very soon. Take care.